Hello YouTube, it's Alpha Shay 19 coming at you yet again for another NFL Picks week. Remember, if you like these NFL picks or any of my other content, which is gaming content, then you can go ahead and hit that like button and press subscribe, as probably about like none of you are subscribed because this channel has literally 22 subscribers, so maybe like one or two of you guys are subscribed. I don't know. But that's about it. Yeah, like basically nobody subscribes. So hit the subscribe button. It does help out the channel a lot. Let's get into these picks. All right, so last week I did not have the greatest week. I believe now, if I think about what my record is on these picks, I'm still positive on the season. Okay, but I only picked six correct picks right last week and eight incorrect ones. So we were 6-8 last week. It wasn't the greatest, okay? But this week we're gonna try to do better. And I see a matchup that is very interesting right off the bat. I didn't even know that the schedule came out that way. But man, this is gonna be an interesting week based on what I'm seeing already. I haven't even looked at the schedule yet. I'm just gonna go off the cuff as I always do. I did know the Dallas Cowboys and Giants game was there, but the rest of them I haven't really looked at yet. Anyway, last week was a bit rusty for me, and overall, I think like I'm 25 for like 25 and 21 overall this year. So I mean, yeah, it's a bit rough, but I mean, I still have a winning record overall. Week one was fantastic. It's been about the same kind of week over the last couple of weeks in terms of the picks, but it is what it is. It's time to get into these week four picks. So leading off, we have two 1-2 teams here. I didn't expect I didn't expect the Giants to win last week, but they did. I'm a Ravens fan, so of course I was hoping for the Cowboys to lose last week, and they did. So the Ravens got their first W in that game, and the Cowboys got their second loss. Both teams are 1-2 now. So it doesn't really matter. The past is the past. Last week the Giants won their game. I can't remember who they played, to be honest, and the Cowboys did not. But I believe the Cowboys are better than the Giants on paper and just overall. And I could see this being a pretty easy win for the Cowboys if they do everything the right way. The Cowboys almost beat the Ravens in that last game that they played. And, I mean, it was a mess for both teams, realistically. The Ravens were just better overall last week than the Cowboys were. And I think the Cowboys are still going to be able to beat up on little brother in New York here. So I think it's going to be a good old, let's say, 24-21 win. Somehow the Giants are going to make it close. It might be another blowout on Thursday night. Hopefully not. Thursday night games have all been blowouts thus far, except for the first one with the Ravens and the Chiefs. But I mean, everybody expected that one to be close anyway. The Falcons, the Saints versus the Falcons. So the Saints were looking good in the first 2 weeks. I don't know what happened against the Eagles last week. The Falcons looked pretty good against the Chiefs. I'm not gonna lie, it was a close game. I think a lot closer than people thought. But they ended up still losing. So this is going to be a tough game for both the Chiefs. I mean, not the Chiefs. For both the Saints and the Falcons. I think it's going to be close. I think the Falcons are better than people think. I think they're more talented than what their record says at 1-2. Um, and I think the Saints have slipped up and showed some weakness in this past week against the Eagles when they lost. I expected the Saints to be 3-0 the way they were playing. But I'm going to go ahead and say the Saints bounce back in this one. I think it's going to be close, though. I'm going to go say 24-23 and give the Saints a 1-point victory over the Falcons. I don't know why I think it's going to be that close, but I think it's going to be a good game, and I think it's going to come down to the wire. Yep. Carolina versus Cincinnati. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. Now, the Bengals have basically bungled their way to an 0-3 start. Now, Joe Burrow has historically been bad in the beginning of seasons, and last year they were 0-3 at this point as well. They did win in week. They have won in week 4 in every uh, single season. Joe Burrow's been the starter there, I believe. But this Carolina team got like way better. I think, dude, whenever people were talking about how bad the Panthers were, I think they really meant Bryce Young. Because Bryce Young's not a good quarterback at all. Um, and I mean, I think that's pretty obvious now. However, however, Andy Dalton is now against his former team and the Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton is the only quarterback in the NFL, this includes Patrick Mahomes, to throw for 300 plus yards and 3 touchdowns this season. I saw that somewhere. I don't actually think that's accurate because I'm pretty sure Baker Mayfield did so as well. But he is he's one of 2 quarterbacks this season that do that. Baker Mayfield and Andy Dalton. And the funniest part about that is Andy Dalton's way older than Baker Mayfield. And is pretty much, he's a little bit younger than Joe Flacco, but kind of in the same era. Really, pretty much about the same age as Matthew Stafford. But yeah, the Panthers scored 36 points last week. I don't think anybody expected the Panthers to ever score 36 points at all this season. I didn't even remember that Andy Dalton was the backup. Why the heck were you starting Bryce Young ever? Is the question anybody would probably be asking now. I mean, I guess like you may think, oh, Bryce Young was drafted in the first round. Andy Dalton was kind of a little bit washed, older, you know, not necessarily a guy that you want to make the face of your franchise. But my God, Bryce Young could not have that been that good in training camp like a year ago or whatever it was. There's no way. This is a tough one. I'm gonna pick the Bengals though, and the reason I'm gonna pick the Bengals is because I just don't think that the Bengals go on 4. I see them winning this week. I think they get back on track a little bit. I think it's going to be an ugly, close game. Maybe something like 24-17 Bengals, but we'll see. Andy Dalton still got that dog in him, though. For sure. For sure. Los Angeles Rams versus Chicago Bears. Matt Stafford is in a down year this year. I keep saying it. He's the streakiest player in the NFL. The Rams were fantastic last year, and now they're 1-2. Caleb Williams broke out a little bit last week, still threw 2 interceptions, and lost the game. But I mean, hey, he at least played better than he has before. Now, that Bears defense is good enough to keep them in this game. I personally want to go with the Rams still. I'm going to go with the Rams here. Because I don't know that Caleb Williams is totally done being not bad. Right? I feel like he is just bad enough to lose this game. I think he is. I think Caleb Williams is just not good enough to win against this Rams team, and I think that the Rams are going to go ahead and they're going to beat the Bears. They're going to beat the Bears. How much are they going to beat the Bears by? They're going to beat the Bears 17-13. It's going to be a weird score. It's going to be low scoring, but the Rams are going to come out on top. Minnesota Vikings versus Green Bay Packers. Malik Willis has proved me wrong. Maybe people just need to get off the freaking Titans. I don't know. Maybe it's a Titans thing, but Malik Willis has been playing out of his mind. Sam Darnold, maybe people just need to get off the Jets too. Sam Darnold has been playing out of his mind. I don't know what happened to these quarterbacks. Both of them were so mid in the past that I'm actually surprised that they're both doing well this season. However, at some point, Green Bay's luck is going to run out, and I think that's going to come out this week. I think that the Vikings are going to win this game, and I think it's going to be pretty close. I'm going to say it's going to be 34-28 Vikings. I don't know. It feels like it's going to be that way. It feels like the Vikings are just taking over this division. There might be, I mean, it could come down to the Vikings and the Lions. It's one of the most entertaining divisions in football. I mean, all of those teams have a chance to be good this year. All of them. Even Chicago, if Caleb Williams can actually start playing up to what people expected him to play up to. If he can't, then it's going to be a problem. Now, he looked like he was starting to figure things out. Again, like I said, he looked like he was starting to figure things out. If Caleb Williams actually starts to figure things out, truthfully, this will be one of the most impressive divisions in all of football. But I think Minnesota wins that game 34-28. Jacksonville versus Houston. This is going to be a tough one to predict because I think Houston is better. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Houston, even though I didn't think that Jacksonville would be starting 0-4. But I actually think that they will start 0-4 because how do you win, especially after you get blown out by the Bills? I mean, like, there's no excuse for Trevor Lawrence at this point. Like, this guy has gone from, oh yeah, he's really good, to being basically just mid over the last couple of seasons. And not only that, but now he just looks bad. This has been like one of the fastest declines in NFL history. You know, from being like, oh yeah, he's going to be the face of the franchise, right? To like, wow, okay, all right. You know, that's what it feels like. And I don't know. I think that Houston wins this game, maybe in 28-24. Honestly, I feel like every single time that I predict AFC South matchups, that's about the score that I usually always predict in that type of matchup. But yeah. Okay, so the Steelers are staying undefeated. I don't know how the heck they keep getting these teams that are like not that good on their schedule, but it might be because they finished like what, third in the AFC North last year. Yeah, I mean the Steelers are gonna stay undefeated. This is unprecedented. Like their schedule has been so easy compared to the rest of the AFC North. Like this is start of the season is disgusting. The only team that they've actually played that's had any like real like talent has been the Chargers, and I mean they were still able to beat them. And they've had like how many touchdowns this year? They've had like what, two, three touchdowns this year? But their defense is outstanding. Like the Steelers' defense might be one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best defense in like this might be the best defense in football right now. And like their schedule doesn't get any harder at all. I mean, they play the Colts this week. They're gonna win that. They play the Cowboys, and the next week after that, they're probably gonna win that. And then they play the Raiders. They're probably gonna win that. They might lose to the Jets. They might get trapped games against the Giants. The Commanders are starting to look good, and then they start playing the AFC North, and those are gonna be crazy games because it's the freaking AFC. The Steelers don't actually get tested until like the middle of the season, by the way. Until they play like, I guess next week is going to be a real test. But there's no way that Anthony Richardson, with the way he's playing right now, is beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a low scoring game. It's going to be. Dude, this is what I'm saying. Justin Fields maybe just needed to get out of Chicago. How many teams are just quarterback like unhealthy, right? Justin Fields has been winning these games. He has 2 passing touchdowns on the season, and he's been winning these games. The Steelers are 3-0 because of their defense. It doesn't matter if you stick back there. Mike Tomlin's going to find ways to win. 17-10. Pittsburgh gets it done this week again. I predicted every single week that they're going to win, and I'm a Ravens fan. I don't want them to win, but they keep winning. They keep winning. That's how it is. Denver versus New York Jets. The Jets are winning this one. I mean, like Bo Nix. Bo Nix, actually, I'm going to look up his stats real quick. Bo Nix. He did pretty well last week, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the Broncos won. The Broncos won last week. Um, he hasn't thrown a touchdown actually all year, which is pretty hilarious. I mean, 4 interceptions and 0 touchdowns through 3 weeks, but he has a W. And I was complaining about Justin Fields having just 2 touchdowns. At least the guy has touchdowns. Now, I guess that he did stay interception free against the Buccaneers last week, which was probably why they were able to win. And he did get his completion percentage up to a pretty respectable 69% last week. So he is showing improvement by not throwing interceptions, and is still probably better than one other rookie quarterback who we're going to talk about later, and is actually better than Bryce Young, who was a rookie quarterback last year, considering the fact that even though he hasn't thrown for a touchdown this year, I guess he put the Broncos in situations to where they could win against the Buccaneers, I guess, on the ground or through defense. I don't know. I don't think the Denver defense is that good, but you can't just not pass for touchdowns against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. This is going to be an absolute blowout. The Jets don't really blow people out. They didn't even 24-3 against the Patriots was not a blowout. That game could have been even more one-sided, and it wasn't. A 21 point game against a division opponent that you should probably be winning against anyway is not necessarily a blowout. This is going to be a blowout. It's going to be 27-13. I'm not even going to say, I think it's going to be a blowout, but I'll be nice to the Broncos and say 13 points. Okay. Philadelphia versus Tampa Bay. Whew! Tampa Bay did play against the Commanders in week 1, and everybody thought the Commanders would be worse than they are. The Commanders are surprisingly 2-1, so maybe that's, I don't know. It's been a weird season. I mean, there's been so many upsets this year, it's kind of actually just crazy. Now, that being said, I think Philadelphia is better here. I think they are. I mean, they beat the Saints last week, and I didn't expect them to do that, especially after what they did against Atlanta the previous week before in week 2, exactly. But I don't know. I think the Eagles are better than Tampa Bay. We'll see though. We'll see it. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Now I think the Eagles can win this game 20-17, maybe. It's probably going to be a bit higher scoring than that, but they had an ugly game against the Saints last week. We'll see what happens. 2017 Eagles, I think, is what's going to be the win. The score there. Arizona versus Washington. So the Commanders have had a surprising season thus far. I don't think anybody expected them to be 2-1 at this point, but they are. So congratulations to the Commanders having a good season so far this year. Jaden Daniels looks like probably the best rookie quarterback of the class thus far. I do have some question marks around the Commanders, though, but I have some question marks around the Cardinals as well. However, I think the Cardinals win this game. I think the Commanders might have got a little bit lucky against the Bengals this past week. Well, really just yesterday. I think they got lucky against the Bengals, and I think that the Bengals turned into the Bungles, and the Cardinals are not necessarily going to do that. I don't think the Cardinals are necessarily going to do that. I think the Cardinals go ahead and they win. It's going to be close now. The Commanders are actually a pretty decent team. It's going to be close. I think the Cardinals go ahead and win 28-24. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be interesting to watch. Jaden Daniels is the best rookie quarterback of this class thus far. If Caleb Williams lives up to the hype, it will be him. But so far, Jaden Daniels is having a better season. So kudos to the Commanders for finding a better quarterback than anybody thought that they would, and actually being a relevant team potentially again. The Commanders always have a few seasons here and there where they surprise people. It's nothing new. The Patriots versus the 49ers. I don't think anybody expected that the 49ers would be 1-2. I think most people kind of expected the Patriots to be sitting around here at 1-2 or 0-3. And Yeah, I mean, I think the 49ers bounce back and they get the win. I think it's gonna be a good old like maybe even 32 to 17 win for the 49ers. I don't realistically see the Niners losing to the Patriots. I think Drake May is gonna be starting, but I think that the 49ers are just overall better team. They've had a little bit of a rough luck but start, but I think they're better than the record. There's a couple 1 and 2 teams, so I think that about, including my favorite team, the Ravens. I think they're better than 1 and 2. But we'll see in that what happens. We'll see what happens. Chiefs versus the Chargers. The Chiefs are gonna win this. I mean, if there's anything that we've learned from the NFL season thus far this year, it's that nobody can really beat the Chiefs. Um, yeah, and that's just how it is. I mean, there's been more than enough. Like even in the last game, the Chiefs played the Falcons. There was pass interference that should have been called on the Chiefs in that one play. Dude was not even looking at the ball, and I don't even know who it was. I think it was Drake London. He was trying to. Yeah, it's probably Drake London. Honestly, who else is it gonna be? Oh no, it's Kyle Pitts. It was Kyle. Dude, I don't know who was covering Kyle Pitts, but dude was literally all up in his like face. He was all up in his face. The ref was right there. Like this. Let's say Kyle Pitts and the one dude right there. The ref is literally right there. Like, and they don't throw the flag. It should have been pass interference. Now I don't know if that means that the Falcons would have scored a touchdown on the next play or not or whatever. I don't know how much time was left. I didn't really watch the game. All I know is that I saw the replay of that play. The Chiefs didn't get called for an obvious pass interference. And as a Ravens fan, I could just sit back and be like, yo, that was us. That was PI. Yep. If the Ravens had been in that situation, it would have been PI. It would have been called pass interference every single time. Dude, I mean, like Lamar Jackson came out and said it the best. Stop screwing us over. The refs have screwed over the Ravens so much this year, man. Like so much, so many times. Like the refs trying to keep the Cowboys in the game last week, and that didn't work out too well, did it? Anyway, back to this game. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think that it's going to be pretty close, though. Justin Herbert always keeps things a bit close. It's going to be 32-28 Chiefs. Mm-hmm. The Browns versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The good old Cleveland Browns. Yes. Disaster strikes Cleveland again. I can't listen. I don't envy Browns fans. This franchise is a joke. Will always be a joke. Even when they're good, they're still gonna be a joke. Y'all could have kept Baker Mayfield and spent less money, caused less inflation in the quarterback market, and you could have literally just not been stupid. But you decided to be stupid, and look where it's gonna get you. It's gonna get you a 1-3 record because you're gonna lose to the Las Vegas Raiders. Boy, listen, we all know the Browns aimed it this year. All right, I don't know what's going on with the Browns this year. They are just not good. All right, Deshaun Watson is not that guy. He is not worth the millions of dollars they pay him. He is not actually, and he's probably no, not probably, and he is a serial sex offender. Okay, literally, like how many allegations now? Really, like 27. A new one was added. They can't all be lying. Some of them are true for sure. 100%. Like, dude, what do you think this is? It's not like even if some of them are false, even one is bad enough. Even one is bad enough. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe should have kept Baker Mayfield. Then you wouldn't lose 24-10 to the Las Vegas Raiders. A team that the Baltimore Ravens should have not lost to a couple weeks ago, but you know that's what's gonna happen. 24-10. That's right. That's right. I said it. I think they're only gonna score 10 points against that defense. All right, moving on. Buffalo versus Baltimore. Now this is a home game for the Ravens. The Ravens have had a tough near this year. But they finally got it done against the Dallas Cowboys. However, Buffalo Bills are not the Dallas Cowboys. But I do believe in my Ravens. I think they're going to win 27-24. That's right. 27-24. And guess how I think they're going to win? It's going to be tied at 24. Ravens going to get the ball. It's going to be a 50-yard field goal. That's right. I said it. Justin Tucker gets back on track, breaks his curse, kicks a 50-yard field goal to win the game against the Buffalo Bills right before time expires. That's what I think is going to happen. Justin Tucker is going to get back on track. He's going to hit a kick from 50-plus yards. He is going to win the game, and he is going to return to GOAT status. That's right. And the Bills are going to lose their first game of the season. I mean, it's all. And Ravens going to pick a win, get back to 500, get a reset on this season. I mean, not entirely, but it's going to be a reset for them. Okay? You have to know this, right? A home game with a win on your back, still a must-win situation. With the way the Bills are playing right now, you're going to be doubted. With the way Justin Tucker is playing right now, he's going to be doubted. With the way that everything that the Ravens are doing right now, they're going to be doubted. Lamar Jackson is going to be doubted. Everybody on the Ravens is going to be doubted. They're going to be underdogs in their own stadium, though. But guess what? That's when the Ravens get their best work done. That's when they get their best work done. The Ravens have never, ever, ever been better as favorites than they have been underdogs, man. Think about when the Ravens won their 2 Super Bowls. Both times they were underdogs. That's right. The Ravens get their best work done as underdogs, and they're going to do it again this week. That's what it's going to be. That's what it has to be. If the Ravens want to stay on track, that's what it's going to have to be. I'm a fan of the Ravens, and I'm spirited about this game. It's going to be a fun game to watch on Sunday night, and it's in prime time. The Ravens going to go all out. They're going to be in all black uniforms, and they're going to put on a show. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good game. And listen, Buffalo fans, I ain't got no ill will against y'all like I do against the Chiefs fans at this point. I hate the Chiefs more than I do the Steelers. Alright? And I don't say that ever as a Ravens fan. But listen, I've told myself today, I said, listen, the Steelers are good this year, man. They got a good defense. If somehow the Steelers made it to the Super Bowl and the Chiefs didn't, I would root against the Steelers. I would hope that they would lose the Super Bowl, but I would rather see the Steelers in the Super Bowl than the Chiefs. I want to see no repeat. And if it means the Pittsburgh Steelers playing in the Super Bowl, dang it, I hope they lose. But I hope that is in St. Clair. These are my 2 most hated teams in the league right now, man. I ain't got nothing against Buffalo, right? Josh Allen were cool. Exactly. And listen, I'd rather the Bills make it to the Super Bowl than the Chiefs or the Steelers. We all right. I ain't got no animosity against the Bills. But y'all going down this week. I love Bills Mafia. Fantastic fan base. Hilarious. Funny. But y'all going down this week, though. Back to the picks. Miami Dolphins versus Van. Oh, my God. That's how I feel about this game. These teams are both trash. These teams are both booty. Holy moly. Dude. These teams are both booty cheeks. They are both booty cheeks. Who are the Dolphins? Oh my God, I gotta find out. Dolphins quarterback. I don't even know who is starting. Mike McDaniel, Dolphins uncertain. Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle, Tyler Huntley will start. The Dolphins don't even know. The Dolphins don't even know who their starter is going to be for this week. Will Levis better be better. Will Levis better be better than whoever they be starting down there in Miami, for God's sake. Please, man. This game is going to be atrocious. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be terrible. But the Dolphins technically have a better team. But guess what? Guess what? I'm going to pick the Tennessee Titans this week to win this game, boys. And the reason I'm going to do that is because Skylar Thompson is one of the most disgusting players I've ever seen play football since Nathan Peterman. Okay? And that's bad. He's not good. He is not good at the NFL level. Skylar Thompson is hot dog water. He is hot dog water at quarterback. And guess what? So is Will Levis. Will Levis is terrible. But guess what? Will Levis has also produced leads for his team multiple times. So, yes. And last week we saw the Miami Dolphins with Tyreek Hill, with Jalen Waddle, with all these weapons score 3 points. Y'all have some of the best receivers in the league and cannot score more than 3 points. Guess what? The Titans roster is not good. It's not good. Comparatively, on paper, the Dolphins should win. I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be like a 10-3 game. It's going to be that. This will be the lowest scoring game this week. Conversely, it could be the highest scoring game this week if the defenses both show out. Will Levis has his best chance to get his first win in the NFL this week because the Dolphins don't have a quarterback. And they're not going to have a quarterback until next year. Because Tua Tagovailoa better not ever see the NFL field again in his life for his own personal safety. Man has had 3 concussions. He better not come back. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Detroit Lions. This is the first time the Seahawks have been tested all year, and they're going to take the L. Listen, I do like Mike McDonald, but I've been saying this for a long time. He was not the reason the Ravens had all that success that they've had on defense. All right. Now his team is starting out 3-0. He has proven me wrong so far, but their schedule has been easy, and up until this point, the Seattle Seahawks. This is the first team that they're actually being tested against. They played in week 1 against Mo Pics, exactly. They played against Bo Nix with Mo Pics, and they barely won. They played against the Patriots and they barely won. They played against the Dolphins with no quarterback, and they barely won. This week, they have to play against a Lions team that almost made the Super Bowl last year and that has a real quarterback playing for them. They are not going to win this week, brother. Now, listen, they scored about 26, 23, 24. They scored about 24 points every single week. I don't think they're going to be able to do as well against that Lions defense. This is the best defense they played all year, and it is the best team that they played all year. They have not played against a single good team all year. Exactly. Literally 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Every single team they've played against this year is 1-2. You can't come at me with, oh, but yeah, no. The Seahawks have had a cupcake easy schedule this year. They're going to take their first L. They're going to lose 27-24. It's going to be close. Listen, it's not a bad team. They've beaten up they have beaten up on some bad teams. They're not a bad team though. They've just beaten up on some bad teams. And that's okay. You're allowed to be that team. But you're not beating the Dolphins. You're not beating the Detroit Lions. You're not. It's the toughest team that the Seahawks have faced this year. And they're not going to win. And that's okay. And that does it for the Week 4 picks for me. I'll see y'all next week. I'm out. Like and subscribe to the video. Peace out, y'all.